something that should be India's right.
Canada is concerned, I think there are some very specific issues. I think a lot of people know that.
We will review the new Maruti Swift Dzire. We'll get you the test ride of Ducati DesertX. And we'll compare newly launched Tata Curvv with the segment leader Hyundai Creta. KTM made a big splash with a slew of premium bike launches. We will get you all the details. Maruti Suzuki has launched the 4th generation of its compact sedan Dzire. Join me as I take you on a detailed review. Earlier, we have seen that Dzire was based primarily on Swift. Right now also the platform is the same, but the design has taken a completely new turn. There is very little of Swift that you can see, at least right in the front. ही flattish grill दिखाई दे रहा है, काफ़ी बड़े साइज का है. इनफैक्ट मुझे थोड़ी सी इनोवा के ग्रिल की याद दिलाता है. Maruti is calling these LED crystal vision headlamps. You get your straight DRLs here. और सरप्राइजिंगली यहाँ पर आपको टर्न इंडिकेटर हैलोजन मिल रहे हैं, हालांकि फॉग लैंप नीचे LED है. तो यहाँ पर आपको 15 इंच के व्हील्स मिल रहे हैं. ये डुअल डायमंड कट एलॉयज देखने में अच्छे लगते हैं. और यहाँ पर आपको इसका ये कूपे रूफ लाइन नज़र आएगी. यहाँ पर जो टेल लैंप है इनमें भी 3D इफेक्ट है. यहाँ पर आपको बूट लिड पर ये स्पॉइलर इफेक्ट मिल जाता है. 382 लीटर्स का बूट स्पेस मिल रहा है, जो कि पहले के मुकाबले थोड़ा बढ़ गया है. और अगर आप सेगमेंट में भी कंपेयर करें तो ये अच्छा बूट स्पेस माना जाएगा. ग्राउंड क्लियरेंस भी पहले के जैसे ही 163 mm आपको मिलती है. सो नाउ यू गेट दिस 9 इंच टच स्क्रीन विद सुजुकी कनेक्ट, वायरलेस एप्पल कारप्ले, एंड्रॉइड ऑटो, 360-degree camera, and the 360-degree camera's output is pretty decent. यहाँ पर ये satin finish आपको दिखाई दे रही है और ये wood looking पैनल भी दिया गया है. ये है तो प्लास्टिक, लेकिन इसको लुक थोड़ा सा वुड दिया गया है. यहाँ पर जो प्लास्टिक इंसर्ट है इसमें भी थोड़ा सा 3D टेक्सचर है, देखने में वो भी अच्छा लगता है. वो आपको यहाँ डोर में भी दिखाई देगा. स्टीयरिंग जो है वो यहाँ पर फ्लैट बॉटम है. यहाँ पर कुछ स्टीयरिंग माउंटेड कंट्रोल आपको मिल जाते हैं. और यहाँ पर भी ये सैटिन फिनिश का एक प्लास्टिक इंसर्ट दिया गया है, जिससे इसका जो लुक है वो थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव पता चले. और एक बड़ा एडिशन जो कि पर्सनल बायर्स को पसंद आता है वो है सनरूफ. बहुत बड़े साइज़ का सनरूफ ये नहीं है, छोटे साइज़ का सनरूफ है, लेकिन आपको मिलता ज़रूर है यहाँ पर. बट एक चीज़ जो आप मिस करेंगे जब आप अपनी लॉन्ग ड्राइव्स पर जाएंगे वो है यहाँ पर सेंट्रल आर्म रेस्ट. सेंट्रल आर्म रेस्ट आपको इस गाड़ी में नहीं मिल रहा, लेकिन रियर पैसेंजर को सेंट्रल आर्म रेस्ट मिल जाता है. बट जो मिडिल पैसेंजर है उसको हेड रेस्ट नहीं मिलता. मूवेबल या फिर इमूवेबल कोई भी हेड रेस्ट नहीं मिल रहा. हाँ, 3-point सीट बेल्ट ज़रूर मिल जाती है. यहाँ पर आपको AC वेंट्स मिल जाते हैं और साथ ही टाइप A और टाइप C चार्जिंग पॉइंट मिल जाता है. और यहाँ पर चार्जिंग करते वक्त आप अपना फ़ोन रख सकते हैं. मेरी हाइट 5'7" है और इसके बाद यहाँ पर अच्छा खासा स्पेस मुझे मिल जाता है. फुट स्पेस भी अच्छा है. जो आगे वाली सीट है उसके नीचे अच्छी जगह है, तो पैर आराम से आगे करके बैठा जा सकता है. थाई सपोर्ट भी ठीक ठाक है. Well, the exterior looks have changed. The interiors are different compared to Swift, but what hasn't changed is the engine. You get the same engine that you get in the Swift, the 1.2-liter Z-Series engine, 3-cylinder engine which gives you around 83 HP power and 112 Nm of torque. Company says the Dzire will give you a fuel efficiency of 24.7 kpl for petrol and for CNG over 33 kilometers per kilogram. Now let me first talk about what I like about Desire's drive. शहर के लिए इसकी राइड क्वालिटी बिल्कुल परफेक्ट है. थोड़ी सॉफ्ट साइड पर है और स्पीड ब्रेकर से निकलना हो या फिर रंबल स्ट्रिप्स क्रॉस करने हो या फिर ख़राब रास्तों से इसको जूझना हो, उन सारी सिचुएशंस में ये गाड़ी के ऑक्यूपेंट्स को कंफर्टेबल रखेगी. रोड में जो थोड़ी बहुत खराबी है वो आपको पता भले ही चल जाए, अनकंफर्टेबल बिल्कुल नहीं लगेगी. What I also like is, despite the fact that this is a 3-cylinder engine, it's not too noisy unless and until you push it hard. When you push it hard, then you will be able to hear some engine noise. लेकिन वाइब्रेशंस आपको ज़रूर पता चलेंगे. वैसे तो ये 3-cylinder 1.2 लीटर नेचुरली एस्पिरेटेड इंजन है, लेकिन अच्छी बात यह है कि लो एंड का जो इसका परफॉर्मेंस है वो अच्छा है. तो जब आप गाड़ी स्टार्ट करते हैं जो इसका पिकअप है वो बढ़िया होता है, लेकिन जब ये हायर रेव रेंज में पहुंचती है तब ये थोड़ा सा फ्लैट हो जाता है। अब ये AMG गियर बॉक्स पहले के कंपैरिजन में ज़्यादा स्मूथ पता चलता है। AMTs बहुत स्मूथ होते नहीं है, थोड़ा जर्की तो वो होते ही होते हैं और वो जर्क्स आपको इस गाड़ी में भी पता चलेंगे, लेकिन पहले के मुकाबले काफ़ी ज़्यादा स्मूथ आउट हो जाते हैं, स्पेशली अगर आप इस गाड़ी को बहुत ज़्यादा पुश नहीं कर रहे हैं। आई थिंक डिज़ायर की राइड सबसे बेहतर तभी निकल कर आएगी जब आप इसे थोड़ा आराम से प्यार से चलाएं। I don't particularly like the steering of the Dzire, ये थोड़ा सा lackluster है, लेकिन इसका पॉजिटिव साइड ये है कि अगर आप शहर में चला रहे हैं बहुत ज़्यादा देर तो भी आपको थकाएगा नहीं। थोड़ा सा हेफ्ट इसमें ऐड हो जाता है जब आप स्पीड पकड़ते हैं, लेकिन फिर भी बहुत ज़्यादा फीडबैक आपको स्टीयरिंग से नहीं मिलता है। What will work in Desire's favor the most is that in the entire lineup of Maruti, this is the first vehicle to get 5-star in global NCAP crash test. Maruti Suzuki has often faced criticism on safety, and Dzire manages to thwart some of that with the crash test rating. It gets 6 airbags, ABS with electronic brake distribution, ESP, hill hold, 3-point seat belt and reverse parking sensor as standard safety features. Top variant also gets 360-degree camera. But more features and safety equipment has had an impact on prices too. Top variant की कीमत अब पहले से करीब 1 लाख रुपए ज्यादा है। Dzire की प्राइसेस शुरू होती हैं 6.79 लाख से, जाती हैं 10.14 लाख तक।
Let me begin by telling you that the Ducati DesertX Rally, yes, that's what we are riding today. It is a very, very focused, very niche machine. And you should only consider purchasing one if you are into off-road motorcycling very seriously or you have mad riding skills.
Think of the DesertX Rally as a more hardcore rally-bred version of the DesertX with some top-shelf off-road equipment.
Right, the Ducati DesertX Rally cuts a striking pose. I mean, look at it. It is an obnoxiously tall motorcycle. The seat height is a massive 910 millimeters, perhaps one of the tallest on any production motorcycle, and it weighs in at 220 plus kg with fuel. So ergonomically it can be a nightmare if you're not used to tall and heavy motorcycles.
There are 6 riding modes, 4 for the road and 2 for off-road, in addition to the variety of adjustments possible. Then there's adjustable engine brake control and wheelie control as per the usual. In the off-road modes, you can switch off ABS and traction control on the rear wheel for better control. The Enduro mode offers 75 horsepower, which is more than enough to tackle tough and technical terrain. Then you also get a 5-inch TFT screen, which is the same as seen on the DesertX. Coming to the engine, the DX Rally gets the same 937cc L-twin Tesla Strata motor as seen on a bunch of other Ducati bikes. The motor makes 110 horsepower at 9250 rpm and 92 Newton meters of peak torque at 6500 rpm. The engine is paired to a 6-speed gearbox with a bi-directional quick shifter as standard fitment.
On the road, the Ducati DesertX Rally feels comfortable and dialed in, but the rally seat might not be as comfortable as the seat on the standard Ducati DesertX for long distance touring. The 937cc L-twin Tesla Strata motor has enough power and torque in it to keep you cruising at triple digit speeds all day long, and even at lower speeds it has enough poke and grunt for you to make those overtaking maneuvers. There's no terrain that can intimidate the Ducati DesertX Rally. Well, look at where we are right now, and today we took on all kinds of gnarly terrain, rock, mud, dirt, jumps and whatnot. It was almost as if the motorcycle was whispering in my ear, "Is that all you got?" Well, the only thing limiting the performance of the DX Rally is my own capability. In the hands of a seasoned off-road rider, the Ducati DesertX Rally is the best middleweight adventure bike that you can buy in India today.
Stay informed and entertained with the new and updated NDTV News app. You can watch all our channels live, listen to podcasts, read breaking and exclusive news from around the world and more. Download the NDTV app today and get access to the best journalism and storytelling on your smartphone or tablet. The NDTV app. News that matters to you. NDTV proudly upholds its legacy of trust and credibility. According to the prestigious Reuters Institute's Digital News Report 2024, NDTV is the top-most news platform in the country. Number 1 in both online and offline reach in India. Beating all its competition, NDTV stands for trust. It's a web of frauds, calls, luring emails, threatening messages. Cyber frauds have cast their net wide and everyone is at risk. We track the victims, their horror stories as they get conned online, extorted and robbed of their hard-earned money. How to identify a cyber fraud and how to stay cyber safe. What are your options? Fraud.con, NDTV initiative for cyber safety. Only on NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to India Sense, where I speak with global opinion makers.
The United States has made a strategic decision over the last 20 years to move closer to India.
A $7 trillion economy seems perfectly conceivable.
The Hyundai Creta has been a segment leader for the longest time now. Ever since it was launched, it has been the benchmark for compact SUVs with its nice mix of performance, powertrain options, features and practicality. But now, Tata Motors has entered the fray with the coupe SUV Tata Curvv. Yes, it is a unique proposition, but the big question here is whether the Tata Curvv has the goods to take on the Hyundai Creta, which has been the best selling model in the segment, or will it be just a blip in the radar? Yes, it is time for the champion and the challenger to square off and get going. Oh well, it is an easy decision in my mind. The Tata Curvv is easily the better looking SUV of the two, with its unique coupe design and a tall stance.
The Creta facelift, with its parametric details up front and a more angular design than before, makes its presence felt as a modern urban SUV.
So the Creta claws back some ground with its airy cabin and well-appointed interior, right? So the view from the driver's perch is quite nice. The steering feels chunky to hold, and the seats themselves are very comfortable. And if you are spending long hours driving the car or even sitting, well, you'll be comfortable on that. Now, onto the rear seat. There's enough headroom. There's decent knee room as well. 3 adults can sit abreast comfortably, and if you want, you can recline the rear seat as well. So you get the recline function as well, but the middle passenger does not get headrest like the other 2 passengers get, and you do have a armrest with cup holders, so that's a nice touch. Along with that, you also get rear AC vents and charging ports, and a small cubby hole to keep your phone, wallet and other knickknacks like that. Another highlight is the fact that the rear passengers get a sun blind. So when it comes to the comfort of the rear passenger in the Creta, well, that's a definite focus, and it does a better job of keeping the passengers at the rear in comfort than the Tata Curvv.
The cabin of the Tata Curvv gives a premium feel along with some pop and color, especially with its rich burgundy leatherette upholstery. The front seats are comfy and you seem to sit taller with better visibility from the driver's perch. But the one issue is that visibility from the IRVM isn't that great thanks to the small rear windscreen. On the rear seat, you will notice that the Curvv has decidedly lesser headroom and knee room than the Creta. The headroom is compromised because of the sloped roofline, but we expected better knee room for sure. 3 people can sit at the rear, but they will be comfier in the Creta. There are a few ergonomic issues in the Tata as well. There is hardly any space to keep your phones and knickknacks up front, and the access to the USB port and 12-volt socket is not exactly easy. The center armrest is quite short and is not movable. Plus, the storage below it is small too. And giving cup holders in the glove box, well, not the smartest move. The Curvv gets the bigger boot at 500 liters along with an electric boot lid and a gesture control to open the same. The Creta gets a 433 liter boot space, which is significantly lesser. The loading lip for both is on the higher side and 60-40 split for the rear seats is common. So the round 2 clearly goes to the Hyundai Creta with better storage options and sound ergonomics. That is, until the boot space came into the picture. We will still give this round to the Creta.
Features like wireless smartphone connectivity, ventilated front seats, electric adjustment for the driver's seat, 360-degree camera, panoramic sunroof, all these features are common to both SUVs, the Creta and the Curvv, but the Creta misses out on wireless smartphone connectivity, which the Tata Curvv gets. Like we said earlier, the cabin of the Creta is well appointed, and we particularly like this feature. The twin screen setup, bezel-less, gives you a nice premium feel, and the readouts are quite sharp, crisp and big enough for you to read on the go. Apart from that, the other feature that is worth noting is the 2-zone climate control. So the Tata Curvv gets a 12.3-inch touchscreen infotainment system, crisp, easy to use, and like we told you earlier, it also gets wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and the digital instrument console that you see in the front, well, the view is nice, but the readouts could have been slightly better, slightly bigger. And if you want, you can also portray the navigation screen in the digital instrument console so that you absolutely don't have to take your eyes off the wheel while driving. That's a nice feature to have, which the Creta misses out on. And if we consider all the features, the entire feature set of both cars, I think it is fair to call it a tie.
Tata offers 3 engine options on the Curvv, which are the 1.2-litre naturally aspirated petrol, 1.2-litre turbo petrol and the 1.5-litre diesel engine. The Creta, on the other hand, gets a 1.5-litre naturally aspirated petrol, a 1.5-litre turbo petrol and a 1.5-litre diesel. Both cars get various automatic options as well.
So we are driving the Curvv with the 1.5-litre turbo diesel engine and a dual clutch automatic gearbox. Yes, this is the first time we have seen or heard of this combination in this segment. We have seen this combination in the premium German SUVs like the Audi Q3 and the Volkswagen Tiguan when it used to come with a diesel engine. But in this segment, this is the first time we are seeing it. And well, this particular combination, the engine and the gearbox, it does seem to work well. Below 2000 RPM, there is a hint of turbo lag, but the moment you cross the 2000 RPM mark, the engine comes into its own and it gives you that solid torque pull in the mid-range, which continues all the way till the top end. So if you're driving this car on the highway, you'll be very, very happy. And the 7-speed dual clutch automatic gearbox itself, it is not as smooth as the European models had, but it does the job and the shifts are seamless. So to say, what could have been better is the fact that when you're driving this car in peak traffic, in bumper to bumper traffic, the gearbox tends to keep shifting between the first and second gears, which means you have this jerking movement and there's significant head nod. But overall, the driving dynamics of the Tata Curvv is quite nice. The ride quality is really, really good. It's very, very plush. And if you try and take fast corners on the Tata Curvv, you will feel a bit of body roll, but it handles well. No complaints whatsoever.
The Creta 2 offers decent performance with a good mid-range and top end. It works really nicely as an urban runabout and on the highway as well. The engine feels smoother than that of the Curvv, and the Creta is a shade quicker when it comes to building up speed. The ride is plush, slightly on the firmer side, but it feels better at higher speeds. Handling is decent and the Creta won't feel out of place on twisties. For the more performance-focused buyers, the Creta is offered in an N-line trim as well. The engine and the driving experience is where the Creta wins with the narrowest of margins, while in terms of handling and ride quality, it is the Curvv which wins and claws back some ground. Both cars are evenly matched when it comes to efficiency. But the Curvv just about edges out the Creta in this round thanks to the diesel DCT combination.
Now both the Creta and the Curvv get 15 plus level 2 ADAS features. So like you can see here, quite a few ADAS features here, and other common safety features include 6 airbags as standard, vehicle stability management, ABS, traction control, and so on and so forth. But the one area where the Curvv scores higher is the fact that it gets a 5-star crash test rating from Bharat NCAP, while the Creta is yet to be tested by Bharat NCAP. So that's another round going to Tata in terms of safety.
Coming to the pricing, prices of the Creta start from 10,99,000 rupees and go up to 20,30,000 rupees. On the other hand, prices of the Curvv start at 9,99,000 rupees and go up to 18,99,000 rupees. All prices are ex-showroom Delhi. The starting prices are a lakh lesser on the Curvv, and there is a difference of 1.3 lakh rupees between the top variants of the two cars. Also, the prices of the diesel Curvv with the DCA gearbox start at 14 lakh rupees, which offers more options to the customers who want a diesel automatic. Other models in the same segment are the Kia Seltos, Citroën Basalt, Volkswagen Tiguan, Nissan Magnite, Renault Kiger, Maruti Suzuki Grand Vitara, and the Honda Elevate.
So we had 6 rounds of intense competition between the Curvv and the Creta, and well, the Creta won the cabin space and ergonomics round, and the features round was a tie. The other rounds went to the Tata Curvv, and honestly we're not surprised because Tata has been upping its game in the passenger vehicles department for quite a few years now, and the Curvv is the embodiment of it. So ladies and gentlemen, this is the moment that many motorcycle enthusiasts have been waiting in India for. KTM has finally launched its big motorcycle range in India, and this right here is the KTM 1390 Super Duke R. The presence, the design, the looks, it's absolutely beautiful, it's razor sharp, and this can be yours for 23 lakh rupees ex-showroom. Yes, it gets a LC8 V12 engine, 190 horsepower, 145 Newton meters of peak torque, and it's loaded with electronics. So this behemoth of a motorcycle is the KTM 1290 Super Adventure S. Now the S means that this is not like an off-road biased motorcycle. It is a sport touring machine, so that's why you see the alloy wheels there. Now this gets a 1350cc 75 degree V12 engine, makes about 160 horsepower, 138 Newton meters of peak torque, and weighs close to 220 kg, gets a 6-speed gearbox with bi-directional quick shift and standard. Another important detail that you see here is this radar, which means the motorcycle gets adaptive cruise control. Yes, you can switch on the cruise control, and if a vehicle in front of you slows down, then the motorcycle slows down, brakes all by itself. So that would be a nice convenience feature to have if you buy this motorcycle. And if you really want to buy this, you'll have to shell out close to 23 lakh rupees, 22 lakh 74,000 to be precise, ex-showroom. And the fourth motorcycle that we have today is the KTM 890 Duke R. Now this is what KTM calls the scalpel. It gets an 889cc parallel twin motor, makes about 121 horsepower, 99 Newton meters of peak torque, 6-speed gearbox, of course bi-directional quick shifter, and yes, it has a tall seat height of 834 millimeters, and this looks absolutely gorgeous. It is priced at 14.5 lakh rupees ex-showroom, so yes, it is expensive. This is the 890 Adventure R. Yes, it's a middleweight adventure motorcycle taking on the likes of the Triumph Tiger 900 and the BMW F900 GS. It's priced at 15 lakh 80,000 rupees. Gets a parallel twin engine, makes about 105 horsepower and 100 Newton meters of peak torque, gets a 6-speed gearbox, bi-directional quick shifter is standard, and this is an off-road focused motorcycle. Now we come to the enduro and the motocross motorcycles that KTM has launched today. This here is the KTM 450 SXF, and this right here is the KTM 350 EXCF 6 days. Now this is an enduro motorcycle, which means you can ride this motorcycle if you have a private property on off-road trails and so on and so forth. and this here is a motocross unit. So if you want to take part in motocross races, if you want to just go high and jump, so you buy this motorcycle. And of course, look at this, really slim bodywork, very light, and KTM says that this motorcycle has the most powerful engine in its class. KTM 450 SSF is priced at 10.25 lakh rupees, and the 6 days enduro is priced at 12,96,000 rupees. This is the KTM 50 SX and this is the KTM 85 SX. Both these motorcycles are dirt bikes. These are not toys and these are meant for children. So if you wish to inculcate the love of riding, dirt biking and motorsport in your children from a very young age, then these two motorcycles should be your choice. Now this one is priced at 4,75,000 rupees and this here is priced at 6,70,000 rupees.
Well, that's all for today, but you can join us on our YouTube channel NDTV Auto, where we get a lot of content from Auto World. You can also join us on your favorite social media platform. Till we meet again, drive safe, always wear seatbelt when you are in the car and wear your helmet when you're riding. Take care, see you next week.
I want to thank the American people for the extraordinary honor of being elected your 47th president.
Donald triumphs. What does Trump's win mean for America, for the world, for the wars, and for India-US relations? Non-stop coverage on NDTV. Top analysts and voices from the ground. Extensive coverage on NDTV.
तालियों के साथ हम स्वागत करेंगे आदरणीय मोदी जी का।
छत्रपति शिवाजी महाराज की।
घोषणा आणि जनतेचे पैसे लुटणं,
कट कमिशन आणि करप्शनला आमच्याकडे थारा नाही, त्यांचा परिवारवाद आमचा महाराष्ट्रवाद.
महाराष्ट्रामध्ये 1,75,000 जागा रिक्त आहेत, मग का भरत नाही? राज्याची जनतेच्या घमाच्या पैशाची तिजोरी लुटण्यासाठी हे सरकार आहे.
पूर्वीच्या सरकारच्या काळामध्ये निधी देताना त्यांना असं वाटायचं की त्यांच्याच खिशातले पैसे चालले. शेतकऱ्यांना मोफत वीज देण्याचं काम आपल्या सरकारने सुरू केलं.
Our iconic Rashtrapati Bhavan is not only a magnificent building, but also a treasure trove of historical significance.
यहाँ जो किताबें हैं बहुत पुराने किताबें और बहुत रेयर किताबें, दूसरे लाइब्रेरी में इस तरह की किताबें नहीं मिल सकती.
The prestigious President Library of Rashtrapati Bhavan has a rare collection of books, some of which are 200 years old, and they are being digitized now.
किताबों को डिजिटाइजेशन करना चाहिए, वो शुरू कर दिए हैं और इससे लोगों को बहुत फायदा हुआ है. आप पढ़ेंगे तो बढ़ेंगे.
This week on India Ascents. All eyes on upcoming Rio G20. India poised to mend emerging economies, G7 divisions. Trump 2.0. Is it time up Trudeau? Ottawa stares at fresh turmoil. Chinese security personnel in Pakistan. Is it Beijing's bid to colonize Islamabad? And in Bangladesh, why does Attorney General want secular removed from the constitution? All this and more only on India Ascents with me, Gauri Dwivedi, at these timings on the NDTV network.
In today's interconnected world, India's voice is more crucial than ever. When India speaks, the world listens. At NDTV World, we are that voice, bringing you intelligent and insightful news from India and beyond. From geopolitics and diplomacy to economic shifts, migrations, tech disruptions, and the stories of our diaspora. We cover the news that shapes our global future. NDTV World, your new home for global news is here.
We reached an agreement on petroling. we have gone back to where the situation was in 2020, and we can say with that the disengagement process with China, you can say, has been completed. The understanding, to my knowledge, is that we will be able to do the patrolling which we were doing in 2020.
I've been reporting on all issues big.
At least 10 newborns died as a massive fire broke out in the neonatal intensive care unit of a state-run hospital. Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister seeks probe report in 24 hours. Prime Minister Modi announces rupees 2 lakh ex gratia for the kin of the deceased. Meanwhile, opposition targets the government on the Jhansi tragedy, calls it a clear case of negligence. Akhilesh Yadav slams Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and asks him to quit his campaigning. Prime Minister Narendra Modi embarks on his landmark three-nation tour. All eyes are on the upcoming G20 Leaders Summit in Brazil. Toxic smog engulfs Delhi and NCR. Toxic foam floats on River Yamuna. It's day 2 of the GRAB 3. Today, restrictions levied on vehicle entry and construction work. Sanju Samson and Tilak Varma shine in South Africa as India sealed the T20 series 3-1 versus the host with a 135-run victory.
The fireworks match, they've won 24.
According to sources, Indian cricket team captain Rohit Sharma and his wife Ritika welcomed a baby boy. Rohit, remember, was on a paternity leave to be present with his wife during this special occasion. Hello and welcome. You're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Osama Shab. The big story that we're tracking at the top of this hour is the Jhansi hospital fire. A devastating fire in the children's ward of a medical college in Uttar Pradesh's Jhansi district caused the lives of at least 10 infants who were kept in the neonatal intensive care unit, while 16 others, they were severely injured. Children in the outer section of the NICU, along with some from the interior area, were rescued as soon as the fire broke out. Over 50 children, they were there in the interior section of the NICU at the time of this incident. Meanwhile, Uttar Pradesh Deputy Chief Minister Brajesh Pathak, he has sought a probe report within 24 hours. The next of kin deceased to get rupees 5 lakh ex gratia has been announced by Prime Minister Modi, and the injured, they will be getting 50,000 rupees ex gratia. In fact, my colleague Ranveer reports, but first listen into what the reactions are.
घटना की उच्च स्तरीय जांच के आदेश दिए गए हैं। साथ मजिस्ट्रेटी जांच होगी। 24 घंटे के अंदर स्थानीय प्रशासन से प्राथमिक जांच रिपोर्ट देने के लिए कहा गया है। 10 बच्चों की दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण मृत्यु हुई है। 7 बच्चों का जो है शिनाख्त हो चुकी है, 3 की शिनाख्त नहीं हो पा रही है। यदि आवश्यक हुआ तो हम DNA टेस्ट भी कराएंगे। अभी प्रथम दृष्टया 24 घंटे में रिपोर्ट आएगी। 60 सर्किट से लगना बताया जा रहा है ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर में।
वहाँ पे जो NICU वार्ड है, NICU वार्ड में 54 बच्चे भर्ती थे और उसमें अचानक ऑक्सीजन कंसंट्रेटर में आग लग गई, जिसको बुझाने की कोशिशें की गई, लेकिन क्योंकि कमरा पूरा ही हाईली ऑक्सीजनेटेड रहता, क्योंकि सभी बच्चों को ऑक्सीजन चल रहा था, तो आग तुरंत फैल गई और उस पर जितना कोशिश की गई, जितना हम लोग कर पाए, हमने कोशिश की और उसमें से लगभग ज़्यादातर बच्चों को बाहर निकालिया गया, सकुशल निकाला गया है और 10 बच्चे उसमें अभी तक कोलैप्स हो चुके हैं।
Fire incidents occurred in Jhansi Medical College yesterday, which led to death of at least 10 kids. A total of 54 kids were admitted in the NICU ward of Jhansi Medical College, and out of them, 10 kids succumbed to injuries. Report says that due to fire in oxygen concentrator, the oxygen concentrator broke out and fire engulfed the whole NICU ward. And total 54 kids were admitted. Out of them, 10 were succumbed to injury, while rest of the 44 were shifted to some other ward. Report also says that total 16 kids are in serious condition and they have been shifted to some private hospitals in the NICU ward. CM Yogi Adityanath took cognizance of the incidents and asked Deputy CM and Health Minister Brijesh Pathak along with Principal Secretary Health of UP to reach the spot, and Brijesh Pathak along with the officials reached Jhansi Medical College in the wee hours today. This incident is obviously is very tragic, and PM and President of India also said that they are very sad due to the incidents. So CM Yogi Adityanath also asked the Commissioner of Jhansi and DIG to file a report within 12 hours of the incidents, and CM want to know the reasons behind the incidents and who are responsible for the incidents. So a big tragedy occurred at around 10:45 p.m. yesterday in Jhansi Medical College in the neonatal intensive care unit. It means NICU ward. So 54 kids were admitted, and the KINS says that after the incident, at least 10 minutes taken to fire brigade to reach the spot. The fire brigade along with policemen reached the spot, but before that the doctors, the paramedical staff and the kin of the kids who were admitted in the hospital, they started the rescue operation, and they have broken the windows of the ward, and the kids were taken out.
Meanwhile, politics has erupted over the entire incident, with the opposition targeting the Yogi government. Samajwadi Party chief Akhilesh Yadav, he slammed Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath and said, "Stop your campaigning." He also hit out and said that the UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath must stop what he calls peddling claims of everything being fine. Akhilesh Yadav also, in fact, urged a fair probe to ensure justice for those families who have been affected. Meanwhile, the air pollution situation in Delhi and NCR, it is worsening day by day. A layer of smog, it engulfed the capital city as the pollution levels continue to remain high. The AQI of Pragati Maidan and surrounding areas, including ITO, was 357, categorized as very poor.
व्हीकल्स जो पुराने व्हीकल्स है, बहुत पुराने, 10
व्हीकलों पर तो वैसे ही बैन है। 15 साल है पेट्रोल,
उसका क्या चलान?
चलान सीज है, बिल्कुल सीज। उसकी गाड़ी जब्त की जाती है। गाड़ी सीज करी जाती है, अलाउ नहीं होगी, चलानी होगी। पेट्रोल 15 साल, डीजल 10 साल।
और उसका फाइन कितना होता है?
फाइन का वो तो खत्म ही हो जाएगी, गाड़ी सीज कर दी जाएगी। वो तो कोर्ट से फाइन होता है फिर अपना। वो छुटती नहीं है, वैसे बहुत कम ही छुटती हैं, और नहीं तो बहुत से तो अपने आप ही सिलेंडर कर देते हैं वो गाड़ी।
तो आपको क्या लगता है अभी लोग थोड़ा कम मतलब थोड़ा ज़्यादा पब्लिक अवेयरनेस है इस चीज़ पे कि?
हाँ बिल्कुल, कायदे में तो पब्लिक को देखना चाहिए, कायदे में सोचना चाहिए इस बारे में। डीजल की गाड़ी तो अब वैसे बहुत ही कम रहेगी डीजल की गाड़ी, लेकिन फिर भी जैसे ट्रक वगैरह सब्जी की गाड़ी आती है और इन पर बैन है, NGT जब तक रहेगी बैन रहेगा।
और ये इंटर स्टेट जो बसेस आ रही है, जो नॉन CNG नॉन इलेक्ट्रिक बसेस है, उस पर भी बैन है अभी एज पर ग्रैब 3, बट आप बोल रहे हो कि अभी तक कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शंस?
हाँ अभी फिलहाल।
All right, my colleague Shreya Ghosh joins us to get us more on what the situation is in Delhi. Shreya, it is day 2 of grab 3. How are things being monitored on the ground at the moment?
Well, right now we of course spoke to the traffic inspector in Noida, and he tells me that they haven't been instructed about the vehicular bans as per graded response action plan stage 3, but they are sure of the fact that within a day or two they will be instructed to impose the fines and to monitor more strictly the different vehicular bans that are in place, including BS3, BS4 vehicles, as well as more of electric buses and less of non-electric buses and non-CNG buses when it comes to the interstate vehicular movement. And on ground, of course, we know that the air quality continues to deteriorate because these graded response action plan measures are mere emergency measures. They are band-aid solutions to a deep wound, to a deep systematic wound, and the Commission for Air Quality Management has been criticized for not taking proactive year-round measures, and due to poor enforcement of the grab 3 measures, we can see the air pollution crisis continues it continues in the national capital. The AQI is around 500, which is extremely hazardous for people's health, especially senior citizens, young people, pregnant women, and people with underlying health, underlying heart and respiratory issues are very susceptible to the increasing pollution levels in the national capital. Apart from this, we also know Delhi government has taken a few steps to combat air pollution. These are very knee-jerk reactions that we're talking about. There are almost 106 bus shuttle services that have started from today from key areas like Badarpur, Rohini, Dwarka, and the Delhi Metro will also run 60 extra trips so that people can easily access the public transport and use less of private vehicular use. But again, these are very, very small measures that are being taken. Air pollution in the national capital is a year-round issue, and sadly it is only during the winters that we can visibly see the aftermath of the year-round pollution. And apart from this also, we know that there has been a complete shift to online classes for primary school going students, and the Chief Minister Atishi has also announced that the government employees, there will be staggered timing for the government employees to reduce traffic congestion as much as possible. You know, the central government employees will be functioning from 10 to 5:30. The municipal corporation employees will work from 8 to 5, and the Delhi government officials will be working from 9 to 5:30, around these timings. So they have changed the timing so that there is less and less traffic congestion on the roads. And as per these GRAP measures are concerned, only time will tell as to how effective these emergency measures are and how strictly these are getting enforced at the ground level. So far, the traffic inspectors haven't been instructed about the vehicular ban yet. This is what the ground reality is for now. Back to you.
All right, Shreya Ghosh, thank you very much for getting us all the latest from the ground there. So the situation, the air pollution situation and the pollution levels in Delhi keep on increasing, and all the measures are being taken, all the measures are being put in place in order to get those levels down. Time now for a very short break. More news and updates on the other side.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Edge 50 Pro, world's first AI-powered pro-grade camera.
Our iconic Rashtrapati Bhavan is not only a magnificent building, but also a treasure trove of historical significance.
यहाँ जो किताबें हैं बहुत पुराने किताबें और बहुत रेयर किताबें, दूसरे लाइब्रेरी में इस तरह की किताबें नहीं मिल सकती.
The prestigious President Library of Rashtrapati Bhavan has a rare collection of books, some of which are 200 years old, and they are being digitized now.
किताबों को डिजिटाइजेशन करना चाहिए, वो शुरू कर दिए हैं और इससे लोगों को बहुत फायदा हुआ. आप पढ़ेंगे तो बढ़ेंगे.
I now request the Honorable Prime Minister to launch NDTV World and address the summit.
It was the grand launch of NDTV World by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. NDTV World, as he laid out his vision for the India century at the NDTV World Summit.
ऐसी सदी जिसमें भारत के प्रयासों से दुनिया में स्थिरता आए.
In the presence of those who are shaping our future.